Goldwing Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, who is fearless in a world of reckless automobiles. These are K&N Moto Vlogs.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Your boy Chris. I'm out on the Goldwing, out on my DCT Honda Goldwing, trying to get me a ride in, out for a test ride today. The current temperature right now is 53 degrees. 53 degrees out on my Honda Goldwing DCT. But it feels good to be out on the Goldwing. And today is actually the first day that I've been on my Honda Goldwing. It seems like it's been at least a week or so. You know, when I'm off the bike, it seems like an eternity. But it's been a minute since I've been on my Honda Goldwing because I had the bike broke down because I was installing my K&N Air Filter. So I'm out here today testing out this K&N Air Filter. And she's breathing and she's doing well. How many of you actually replaced your original OEM air filter and went back with the K&N? Be sure to put it down in the comment section below and let me know how you like it. So it was one of the things that I needed to do. I had been putting it off for a while. My original plan was to just take it to the dealership, and when they do the boat recall, just let them change the air filter while they have my bike. But I decided to just do the work myself, and I wanted to make some modifications to my bike before I actually gave it to them while I had it broke down. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Leroy Brown. Actually, about a couple years ago, Mr. Brown sent me this illuminated switch block that I have on my handlebars. It has two illuminated toggle switches, and they illuminate blue, and it fits right on top of the brake reservoir. So Mr. Brown sent me that when he bought his 2023 Honda Goldwing. So shout out to Mr. Brown for sending me this illuminated switch block that I have here on my Honda Goldwing. So that was one of the modifications that I made to my Honda Goldwing while I had it broke down. I figured since I was changing out the air filter and I had the bike completely tore down, that would be a perfect time for me to install the illuminated switch block that I have here on my handlebars. I actually wired this to my fog lights that I have on the front of the bike. And while I had the bike tore down, I changed out the relay. I put a relay on there with a 30 amp fuse. Another change that I made to my Honda Goldwing is I actually installed a dual USB charging port inside of my glove box. You know, that was one of the things about the new Honda Goldwing that I wish it came with a charging port inside of the glove box. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Well, there is a cable there in the glove box where you plug in your phone. And that's true. You could actually plug in your phone to run your Apple CarPlay or to charge your cell phone via that USB port that's in the glove box, that cable there. But I wanted something a little bit better. So I installed a dual USB charging port. So not only could I run my phone with the normal OEM cable that came in the glove box, now I have two spots to plug in two USB type A's for like charging an additional headset like my Cardo that I'm wearing here. Sometimes when you're riding and your headset may run down, but there's no way to charge your headset. So I installed a dual USB Type-C charging port into the glove box. kind of like the previous generation. On the previous generation, Honda actually sold you a cigarette charger that you can mount in the glove box. But to my understanding, I don't think they offered it for the new style Honda Goldwing. If they did, be sure to put it down in the comment section below. But since my bike did not have no way to charge other than the cable that came from Honda, I put in that dual USB charging port inside of my glove box. If you guys missed a video where I actually installed the charging port on the outside of the Honda Goldwing, you can click on the link in the top corner to watch that video. That same charging port that I initially installed inside of the Honda Goldwing is the one that I put inside the glove box, and I replaced the outer USB ports with some newer style charging ports. And these particular charging ports, they have 4 different connections on there. 2 of them are Type C, and 2 of them are 3.0 USB Type A. I installed the charging port on the left side, and I actually installed the charging port on the right side. And one of the features of that particular charging port is that it has a voltage gauge built right on the top of the charging port. So I have a voltage gauge on the right, I have a voltage gauge on the left, and I also have a voltage gauge on the front here. You can't see it near the front of the speaker. A bigger voltage gauge just to be able to see if my alternator is charging when I'm riding down the road, or my static battery voltage. So that was some of the changes that I made to my Honda Goldwing. Installing extra USB ports for powering my devices. You know how it is when you guys have cameras on the outside of your bike and you want to have a way to charge your device when you're riding down the road. Man, these things are a game changer. And they actually have these little waterproof dust caps. So if it rains, you can close them. You can actually cover up those ports. So 2 USB Type A, 3.0, and 2 USB Type C. With all these devices now, everybody's going to USB Type C. So I have the illumination block. I got the charging ports installed on my Honda Goldwing. And also, I actually changed out some of the connectors on my aftermarket lights that I have on my Honda Goldwing. So I installed some quick disconnects. So when I drop my bike off at the dealership, they could just unplug it. They don't have to, they don't have to cut any wires or anything. So that was something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And so since I had my bike broke down for the air filter, I decided to get those things done while I had the bike broke down. And another change that I made to the bike was much needed, very much needed. I installed the electrical connection park and brake interlock. And the park and brake interlock is designed to keep the rider from riding away on the Honda Goldwing with the park and brake engaged. If your kickstand is down, the bike will not pull off. So it has an interlock on the kickstand, but it don't come with the interlock on the parking brake. So normally, if you have your parking brake up, you'll get a red indicator to show you that you have your parking brake on, but you can still accidentally pull off and burn out your brake pads. So if you guys missed the video where I talked about my brake pads, or you want to see the video where I actually show you how to change out the brake pads, click on the link in the top corner. So I'm going to show you how it works. If the parking brake is engaged, I can't even put the bike in gear. It would only go in gear if I disengage the parking brake. So I'm going to try to put my bike into gear by pressing the drive. Pressing the drive, as you guys can see, it will not go into gear. The only way it's going to go into gear, I have to release the parking brake. So I release the parking brake. Now I press the button and it went into gear. So I can't accidentally pull off. But if I release the parking brake and press the drive button, Now the bike is in gear. You know, for the life of me, I don't know why Honda did not put a brake interlock or put a safety interlock on the parking brake. You know, they put one on the kickstand. So I installed the electrical connection parking brake interlock, and it's designed to keep the rider from riding off with the parking brake engaged. You know, with this Honda Goldwing from the factory, if you have your parking brake engaged, yeah, you'll get a little light on the dash, but you still can pull off and burn your brake pads out. You know, that happened to me. I was on a trip, stopped on the side of the road to, you know, do something, and I pulled off and wasn't looking at the little light, and when I realized it, I was way down the road, and my parking brake was not holding after that because it burnt the parking brakes out. The thing I like about the electrical connection parking brake interlock is that it will not even let you put the bike in gear if the parking brake is engaged. So Honda, if you're watching this video, on the 2025 that's soon to release, hopefully, if there are not any changes to the Honda Goldwing, hopefully you guys have put a parking brake interlock on the Honda Goldwing because it's much needed. So I'm just out here cruising on my Honda Goldwing trying to get the ride in. And the temperature is dropping, man. It's getting chilly out here. I think today was around 60 degrees, but right now I'm showing 54. You know, but when you take into account the air temperature, you know, you might as well deduct at least another 15 degrees for the windshield. I have on my heated gear. I may have to kind of bump it up a little bit. Bump it up to the middle setting. Where's my yellow? There we go. There's my yellow on my heated gear. It's still wintertime, y'all. So now's the perfect time to just run your bike maintenance and do the things to your bike that you've been wanting to do, because when it's time to ride here, when it warm up, man, you know, nobody wants to be down working on the bike. That's why I try to do all of my maintenance in the off season. I ride all year around wearing my heated gear, and it's feeling toasty. In fact, I'm gonna turn on my heated seat a little bit, just put it on the lowest setting. That's the thing about this ultimate seat, man, it gets hot. Start heating up here in a minute. But I just wanted to get out today and just kind of see how everything was working on my Honda Goldwing. You know, Honda's going to be coming out with his 2025 Honda Goldwing very soon. You know, there's been a lot of images on YouTube, a lot of videos. Some of you guys have been sending me videos saying, Chris, here's the 2025. And I try to explain, you know, those are AI generated videos, and people are trying to get views to their channel, and it's a lot of clickbait out there. You guys out there searching around for the 2025 Honda Goldwing, it hasn't been unveiled yet. You know, this is going to be the 50th year anniversary. And, you know, people want to know, are there going to be any changes? Or is the bike going to remain the same? So I'm just out here cruising, man. I was talking to a viewer of mine this morning, and I was letting him know about the boat recall, and he basically said, Chris, that's what you get for getting rid of your big bike. Now you got to deal with a recall. Well, that's the thing about motorcycles or anything man-made. You know, they're subject to their recall on a new bike. You know, even with this 2025, if they made any changes, you know, they're subject to be a recall at some point. So, I mean, that's one of the things, you can't get around it. Anything man-made is subject to break. Anything man-made subject to repairs. So, you know, you just have to get her done. So far, everything is working perfectly. Real quick, I have the K&N Air Filter installed in my Honda Goldwing, and, you know, it's really too early to tell. I can't tell just cruising, you know, if there's any difference or not. You know, it still feels the same. But I just rather have peace of mind knowing that my air filter has been changed. You know, when I get ready to take these long distance trips, I want to make sure that all my maintenance is done. You know, there's a lot of guys that will skimp out on maintenance and they'll push it off to a later time, and, you know, at some point you got to deal with it. You know, the last thing you want to have is a breakdown when you're traveling, especially when you're traveling cross country. Man, this seat is getting hot, y'all. Woo! Good gracious. It is toasted. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm out here doing a test ride and testing out all of the changes that I made to my bike. And so far, everything is working good. I'm very happy with the Honda Goldwing. And if I can do it over again, I would make the exact same decision. This is your boy Chris. Out on the Goldwing. Out on the Goldwing. Trying to get me a ride in. Testing out this K&N Air Filter. And I will talk to you guys later. Deuces.